All right. What's happening, people? All right. So here's the deal. I have a lesson that I learned today, kind of last night, but mostly today, this morning. It is 9:39 in the morning. Here's my lesson. So I thought that I had a new guide orientation in Boulder this morning at 9, from 9 to noon, kind of. So there was some confusion. There was some confusion that I didn't look into ahead of time. I just didn't look into it, and so I didn't really know until it was too late. Wow. So what happened was, I live in Fort Collins, and I had to drive to Boulder because I didn't know if there was the new guide orientation today or tomorrow. There was a typo in the little thing they gave us, so I didn't know which day the orientation was. And it turns out it's not today, and it's not tomorrow either. It'll be after Thanksgiving. And so I ended up having to drive all the way to Boulder because I realized this at like 10:30, 11 last night, something like that. So I learned this so late to where I wasn't able to call anybody or make any... I didn't have any connection, so I didn't know how to find the answer. And so the only option that I really had was to just bite the bullet and drive to Boulder, wondering if there was supposed to be an orientation today, and just kind of hope for the best. So again, turns out there is no orientation. So at first I was thinking, well, that sucks. That's a 2-hour, so that's an hour drive there, hour drive back for really no reason. There was no orientation. I just drove 2 straight hours with no purpose. And then now I got to pay for gas too, which might be, I don't know, maybe $10, something like that. And at first I was just kind of like, I was just thinking, oh, that's a bummer. That's a big loss. I just lost 2 hours of my day, and I got to pay for gas. So that was an expensive, costly mistake that I made. I didn't prepare enough, and now I have to pay for it. Now there's a consequence. That's what I was first thinking. But after having gone there, and actually I was the first one there. The door was locked, and I just kind of waited around for a few minutes, and then finally someone came over after they were supposed to be open, and then we chatted for a little while. But I learned, I figured out that by showing up, I was the only one there. It was me and then one other office person. Nobody else even thought to show up. And again, there's an upside to this. So at first I was thinking, oh, it sucks. I just drove so much for no reason. But now, here's what happened is I talked to that office lady who was awesome, and she's really cool. I just proved to them, I just showed them that I'm committed to the company, right? I just proved to them that I am invested in a way that nobody else really is. At least none of the new guides anyway. So by making that drive, yeah, it took me an hour to get there, but now she's going to reach out to the head honcho, right, to the boss man, and say, hey, there's a wrong date in the thing, there's a typo, this guy showed up, but it was only that guy though, nobody else even thought to show up. So now my name is going to be in his head as the guy who's committed, as the guy who's invested in their company and invested in making things happen. And so if I hadn't had done that, if I hadn't done what I just did, and I was considering just not doing it, so I didn't even know. I was like, oh, well, what's the point of going if I don't even know? I was considering just staying home and doing whatever else I would have normally done. But I would have missed out on the opportunity to make myself known and to make my name known to that office lady, and also to the big, to the boss. So now he knows me in a different way. Now he knows that I'm committed. So I guess I've already been over that. But I guess the point is there's always an upside. So the thing that might suck, the thing that you might be frustrated with yourself, you might be pissed off that you did something stupid, or that you shouldn't have done this or whatever, there's always an upside to it. So even if the thing that happened was a mistake, and it likely was, let's just say, You screwed up. You didn't do enough research beforehand. You didn't do your due diligence beforehand. And now you're stuck with a decision that you may or may not regret. Just keep your eyes open and keep your ears open and be looking for a lesson out of that. Because there always is one. Even if it's hard to see the time, when you're in the moment, it's very hard to see. It's like, oh, this is stupid. I just drove a full hour and the door is locked. Like that was my first thought. I drove a full hour. That might be a Hunter, I think. I don't know. I drove a full hour and then I parked my car and walked up to the door. Totally locked. No lights were on. Nothing was going on in there. I was literally the only person there, and I was just like, oh, why did I take this time to drive down here? There's no one else here. And then eventually a girl showed up, and that whole story. So the point though is that there's always a lesson, and there's always an upside to a downside. There is no upside without a downside. If everything's an upside, then it's nothing. If everything's a downside, then it's nothing. You have to have both. And so when you have one, chances are almost certainly there will be another. Right? Does that kind of make sense? When you screw it up, there's always something to learn from it, right? There's always something to gain from it. And so keep your eyes and ears open, because it's out there and you can learn from those things. And there's a lot of good things that come from that, because if I didn't do this, then anyway, yeah, that's the whole message, I guess. So anyway, I guess that's all I have to say. I'm gonna go see a movie today. I'm gonna go to the gym beforehand, and I have a little bit of work to do today, not much. And yeah, that's basically it. Okay, see you tomorrow. Roger out.